if there's one thing I wish all these characters Wiz and I analyze all the time had, it's a killer vehicle. And I mean literally killer. For this list, I'm just gonna keep it simple and only go with cars. So, as long as it rolls along the ground, I'm counting it. Hey, I'm Boomstick for Screw Attack's Top 10 Deadliest Cars.
Number 10.
I don't get why people think living in a post-apocalyptic world would be a bad thing. Far as I can tell, you just get to fight people, everyone gets to break the law, and you build cool cars out of junk. And I can't imagine a better way to get around in a world like that than in Max's trusty magnum opus. I was tempted to put his classic Pursuit Special here instead, but the deadliest thing that machine ever did was explode. Rip that guy. But Max's new vehicle is fully customizable, from the basic frame right down to the weaponry. You can get spiked rims, a ramming grill, or my favorite, the Thunderpoon. And no, it's not the friend of that girl at the bar, it's a harpoon with an explosive tip. Any vehicle that can survive the apocalypse gets automatic points in my book, but any vehicle that rules the apocalypse is top 10 worthy no matter who you are.
Number 9.
You know, if you take a car and make it armored enough and weaponize it like crazy, you basically get a tank. So I'm counting it for this list. And one of my favorites is the THUNDERTANK from THUNDERCATS. There's no stopping this thing. For example, here it is smashing through rocks and driving up walls. No land to drive on? No problem. The THUNDERTANK may be Jesus. Mobility aside, because this is THUNDERCATS and they want to sell toys, this baby shoots lasers and missiles like crazy. Eye of Thundera, give me tanks beyond tanks.
Number 8.
Power Rangers Turbo is, well, not as good as I remember. But the Red Lightning TURBOZORD is pretty friggin' sweet. I'll be honest, it was a toss-up between this and the Pink Ranger's Wind Chaser TURBOZORD, but I'm a sucker for Hot Rod Red. Like the other TURBOZORDs, Red Lightning may look like a regular car most of the time, but when it's time to shift into turbo, it drives on water, air, and it fights bad guys by itself because it has a mind of its own. But more importantly, it's a Zord! If you mash 5 of these things together, you and 4 buddies can pilot a freaking Megazord. And do I really need to explain how many monsters this thing has wrecked? You'd think that would automatically put it at the top of this list, but the Red Lightning TURBOZORD is kind of a dick. Besides, there's at least one other sentient car that's way better.
Number 7.
I've never been that much of a motorcycle guy, but even I've got to admit that the PANZERCYCLE from Mercenaries 2 totally needs to be here. For just $750,000, you too can own a man's bike. A hog this beefy has no need for wimpy things like wheels. All it needs is a single tank tread. And when it's not pancaking the hoods of cars like they're nothing, it's got dual miniguns for shredding everything in sight. Especially this guy. Only thing that killed him harder was this idiot driver.
Number 6.
Yup, you 80s kids knew this one was coming. KITT from the awesome show Knight Rider is a sweet ride that can actually talk to you. This modified Pontiac Firebird Trans Am T-Top's got this self-aware cybernetic thingamadoohickey, makes it all sentient or whatever. But while you're chit-chatting, the Knight Industries 2000 can shield you from pretty much everything it encounters on the job with its molecular bonded shell plating, and then dish out the pain with some firepower of its own. It's got tear gas, oil slicks, spiked tires, flamethrowers under the bumpers, and even a laser strong enough to poke through steel. If that doesn't get the ladies to notice you, I bet KITT himself would make a good wingman.
I am the voice of Knight Industry 2000's microprocessor, KITT for easy reference.
Maybe if you're trying to pick up a lady for Wiz.
Number 5.
In any other list about vehicles, the Batmobile is the gold standard to beat. It's super fast, looks slick as hell, and best of all for this top 10, it's chock full of sick Batman tech. This bad boy can fit so many gadgets. There's a 25mm Vulcan gun, homing immobilizer missiles, a 60mm cannon, and a shocking exterior. Yeah, I get it, it's Batman, and he doesn't really kill, well, most of the time, but are you telling me everyone Bats does this to survives every time? Or this? Or this? Besides, you know everyone in that Ace Chemicals plant got straight murdered in that Tim Burton movie.
Number 4.
Twisted Metal, the most famous car combat tournament in the world. Now, I know you normally look at an ice cream truck like the Sweet Tooth and not think much of it. It looks like it'd be slow, break down easy, or maybe be sticky. But oh no! This double scoop of death dealing is packing a homing rocket under that ice cream cone that tracks you through buildings and laughs at you while it flies through the air. Sweet Tooth can even transform into a mech like a nightmare version of Optimus Prime and smash buildings to rubble. Needless to say, I want one. But not if it comes with its driver. I hate clowns enough when they're not flaming murder creeps.
Number 3.
Team Star Fox is ready to fight a battle anywhere. You know them for their R-Wing dogfights, but don't underestimate their battle tank. The hydrogen-powered LANDMASTER. Its hardy exterior was originally meant for exploration, but one laser cannon, missile launcher, and smart bomb launcher later, and it's a one-of-a-kind assault vehicle with all of the firepower of the popular Star Fox vehicle. And I know the name is literally LANDMASTER, but this tank can also hover to cross gaps or reach places you never thought a tank was supposed to. And with its homing targeting system and evasive barrel rolls, you will never find a safe place when the LANDMASTER's after you. Yeah, Wiz, if you're watching, I know it's technically an aileron roll.
Number 2.
Man, if you want to be a threat on the road while looking like the living definition of class, follow in James Bond's footsteps and drive his souped-up Aston Martin. Whether you want his classic DB5 or something a little more modernized, this baby's got more gadgets and gizmos than I can count. It's had adaptive camouflage, rockets, twin machine guns, a flamethrower, and a double-barreled shotgun in the back, spiked tires, or even an ejector seat for when it's time to bail. This beaut has helped the world's finest secret agents save the world over and over again. It even has a champagne cooler built into it, which I would use for beers. No, not while driving. It's my walk from the car to the front door beer.
It's number 1.
Now, you probably weren't expecting this vehicle as my number 1 choice, and that this may be some sort of joke. Well, get ready because this thing could really be the deadliest vehicle ever. You remember when you were a kid back in science class and the teacher wheeled in a TV? You knew you were either about to watch some Bill Nye or a show about the deadliest vehicle of all time, the Magic School Bus. Now I know they never actually showed the bus kill a child. Well, outside from that time Arnold tried to die on Pluto. But what would stop the bus from driving to outer space and ejecting people to their cold, silent deaths? The bus can also turn into a bear, or it can even shrink its passengers down to the size of an atom. Hey, I saw those Ant-Man movies. I know that's as good as death. Or imagine it expanding after traveling inside you. I'm telling you, if this living hunk of junk didn't actually care about people, it could murder you in so many ways, and they'd never find your body. Why? Because there might be no body to find, because this murder bus can melt asteroids, or even become as big as the moon. Wiz says that a rock 8 miles wide could kill all of humanity, but the moon? That's like 2,000 miles! It's gonna take a lot more than the Parent-Teacher Association to bring down Miss Frizzle. For our secret number 11, you're not gonna find a lot of death in the town of Springfield, but the Homer had an engine so loud, people thought the apocalypse was happening. But that's not even the best feature. The Homer had cup holders before real-life cars had them. Wonder if I could fit a whole mug of beer in one of them while Wiz drives.